Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, so under moment of silence, James usually handles this, and he's not here today. So does anybody know of anybody in our area that may have passed away in the last month that we want to recognize? Okay.
I don't. Paul Ross.
Who?
Paul Ross.
All of us. Yep, a long time Fabius, and I'm not sure were they in Delphi? They were in Delphi now, right? Yep. Okay, so I guess let's take a moment of silence for Paul, please.
They did it last month. That's what I did. Okay, thanks.
Okay. All right, let's start off with Jim with the accountant's report.
Sure. Everybody has a copy of my report for June. First need to request a motion to accept the supervisor's report for June 2026.
Need a motion to accept the supervisor's report for June 2026.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes.
Second, request approval for the supervisor's bank reconciliation report for June 2026.
Make a motion to accept the supervisor's bank reconciliation report for June 2026.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
So far, halfway through 2026, budget's looking great. I don't have any concerns at this point. There's no modifications or transfers that have been made. Probably starting the budget process for next year towards the end of this month or early August. I'll be sending out budget requests to the department heads. I did take a look at the New York State Retirement website, a preliminary invoice, which is subject to change. It's about 16% higher than it was for 2026. So we're already looking at a pretty sizable increase there. Yeah, outside of that, everything's good. It's a relatively quiet month.
Is it just retirement pension expenses or
That's
include
the-
medical as well?
That's just
That's
pension
retirement.
contributions.
Pensions.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so what they'll do between now and I think they send out invoices in late November, early December. They do their actuarial computations and they figure out exactly how much the town's going to owe. So that number could change. But it's
Salaries don't that much that.
it's not salary, so it's they factor in life expectancies, retirements, investment performance, contributions, things like that. So
I would hate to see what that number looked like if we didn't have a stock market that was doing as well as it's doing.
I know. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
All right, clerk's report.
Looking for board acceptance of the 6/9/26 regular meeting minutes.
Make a motion to accept the 6/28/6 meeting minutes.
Okay, I'll second it.
Any discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Nay.
Looking for the bank reconciliation for June 2026 acceptance for the town clerk and tax collector.
Go ahead.
Make a motion to accept the bank reconciliation for the town clerk for June 26.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Carries.
Looking for acceptance of payment of bills.
Make a motion to accept the payment of bills.
I'll second it. Might as well keep it going.
Any discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Hmm.
No, carries. Okay. Thank you. Codes officers report was summary. Okay, it looks like we had 17 permits and 11 completions this month. It does keep busy. Make a motion to approve the code officers report.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Hmm.
Okay. Highway superintendent report. The highway department's on vacation this week. I thought Gary was gonna be here, but I guess not.
No, he sent me a note saying that he was not gonna be here. His daughter had a soccer game. They're off this week. They're gonna continue to do road work and cut the grass along the roadways.
I noticed that they're finally getting out to mow, even the county is, it's gotten out of control. And he got behind one on Route 80, that the debris was all coming back in the road, all the sticks and.
Oh, yeah.
I know we had complaints locally on that. This was Tully, so it's not us. But, okay, thank you. Okay, so supervisor report. Master plan update. So we finally got them all of the information that they need. They needed certificates of insurance, disability, workers' comp, all kinds of stuff. So we finally got that to them.
Didn't mean the committee or the Barton Judas.
Barter Lejudas.
And then
And
they
the
had,
county.
then they had to
The
send it to
county.
the county.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's a county that I have to send it to, Ellison something. Right? And then I don't know if I shared this with you guys. I think I emailed it to you, the recommendations on
Yep,
how
you
to
did,
form a
yep.
committee. So we need to look over that and start thinking about proceeding with that. Okay. Anything else on that? That's it. We're at a standstill until the grant goes through.
I just want to reiterate the fact that, you know, the master plan has been the same master plan for a long time. And with everything going on, I think it makes sense to do it. We've worked with them. We all, Diane and I met with them. The Barton and Lejudas team and the county representatives, Dave Knapp, and Dave Knapp committed to help us get the grant for $120,000, which is going to cover the cost for them to redo the master plan and include the codes updates to go along with the master plan. So I think it's a big win for the town. We obviously could use 120 grand, and the fact that we're going to be able to update that master plan without any out-of-pocket expense is a great thing.
Yep. All right, highway garage installation grant. So John, can you give us an update on that? Because I haven't heard of it.
Yeah, we've got a signed agreement in place. We had a pre-construction walkthrough. I talked to the contractor today. He's waiting for shop drawings, at which time once he approves those, he'll order the materials. He's anticipating a start date of around August 1st, and he anticipates being done by August 24th.
During the hot season.
Material, the technical specs on the materials were submitted to Tim, and he reviewed those for fire code compliance, and he's all set with those. So
Good.
Thank you for staying on that. Appreciate it.
That's great. So the design drawings they're doing, it's the company that's installing the insulation, right?
right.
Okay, so there shouldn't be any disconnect there.
No, actually, the supplier, he gives dimensions to the supplier, and the supplier puts together a set of shop drawings. Send it to him, and then he'll say yay or nay. And from the time he says yay, then it's a 2 to 3 week lead time.
Order the materials and get scheduled and stuff, once they approve the as-bills.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thanks.
Okay.
Sounds like it's on track. Thanks, John.
All right, so next is consideration of appointment to the zoning board of appeals. I received a recommendation from Dave Tessier, who is the chairman of that board. It says, I hereby recommend the appointment of Judy McLeod. A different last name now? Gata, okay. As a member of the zoning board of appeals to fill the unexpired term ending in 2030, recently vacated by Kevin Sharp. Judy is a resident of and a former town board member of the town of Pompey. She is interested in the town and is familiar with the duties and the operation CBA. Our ZBA deputy chair, David Hale, has known Judy for several years and has talked with her about this position and asked me to include him on recommending her for the position. I have set up a tentative meeting with David and myself, July 6th at the town hall. That meeting did not happen, sorry, to discuss the details of. All right, so, I see Dave in the audience. Do you have anything to add, Mr. Tessier?
Sorry, I missed that meeting, but my wife was in the hospital, so I can use her.
I'm sorry to hear that.
She's okay, she's home, she's homebound though, so. Don't have too much to add to that, other than I have talked to Mrs. Gata in the meantime, a couple of times, just to make sure she knew what we do in detail, and she's got experience with the town and knows generally what the zoning board does, but I think she's up to the task, and we're just looking for members that have a feel for the town and are able to analyze the situation and the right decision on their own. And that's got a very good board, only 5 members, but they're all thinkers and sometimes think outside the box and come to the right conclusion.
It's my understanding that Judy's already done some of the training involved in this.
Yes, I gave her some of the information and through Dave Hale, and she reviewed it, and he understands what's going on, understands what you're getting into. So
Okay.
very good. Glad to have her on board.
All right, well, I'll make the initial motion to appoint Judy McGohan Gata to the zoning board of appeals to fill the term. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Okay. So all in favor? Aye. Any, excuse me, any opposed? No? Welcome aboard, Miss Judy.
Thank you.
Hey. Hometown Heroes update, as Phil can attest, we had a stall.
Yeah.
A stall here, they went through the legwork to get this all put together, it looked great, and then we got stalled with how to go forward. So I've been in talk with Maureen, who's been doing this, and we think we have a solution. There's actually another banner company out there that she wants to use, so we're getting some information from them. They're the ones that do the banners and mailings. She liked the ones, they look nicer, and they're a little less expensive. And so we're just waiting to figure out the financing part, whether the checks can be made directly out to the vendor instead of making them out to the town and then having to do the billing. That's kind of what we're trying to avoid. Okay, so that's the update on that.
Yeah, and I think there was also a question of what the total would be depending on the number of applicants they had. I think it was a discount when they had a certain level.
All right,
So,
yeah, I think they're still looking around the $250
Yeah,
mark.
yeah.
So anything to add to that?
yeah, other than I think you and I talked earlier that it's probably not gonna happen in 2026. It's probably more targeted for next year.
Yeah, we'll have to, hopefully this guy will get back to us and figure that part out. All right, so not on the agenda, we've received notice. It went to the Board of Elections and I've been given a copy. The letter is to provide official notification of the resignation of Nicole Reed, town clerk for the town of Pompey, effective July 30th. So we will, as a board, be moving forward to deal with this issue. Okay, it's my understanding she had to resign because she is moving out of town and therefore cannot hold the elected position. So she's not here. I just want to say thank you for what she's done for me since I've been here in office. And I hope she finds a good gig somewhere else. So
Was she on the ballot this fall or not?
No.
She still has one more
No.
on her term. so-
There's one more year left on her term. And, we're gonna have a special meeting, as Diana referred to discuss how we're gonna handle the situation. And, her resignation it's a matter of law. When you don't live in the town, you have to resign. So
All right.
she did the right thing. And, I know Nikki's been part of the town, and whether it was an assistant, a deputy, and the town clerk for a long time. And I want to thank her for her contributions to the town and what she was able to accomplish for us.
Perfect. Okay. That's all I have. Can anybody think of something that I'm missing? Because I feel like I'm missing something.
Maybe update on insurance. We talked about
Okay,
that.
I reached out to OSEBA
Mhm.
and our outgoing was less than our incoming this month. So we're still okay. All right, but we still need to figure out what we're gonna do in the future.
Yeah. So to build on that just a little bit, we've had a number of meetings with OSEBA, with the union, trying to understand the best way to position the town and keep our obligation to the retirees, which is first and foremost in my mind. I think it's a challenging situation because when the town, the garage became unionized, in the contract, it says specifically that you will continue to use the unions, the Teamsters Union insurance plan. So that, we didn't know that, to be honest, when we started this process. We learned that after reading through their contract. And it does say it pretty clearly in there, that everybody's part of that union healthcare system. So why is this a problem? The problem is, historically, we had everybody in the town on the OSEBA plan. And what that meant was everybody was paying into the pot of money, right? Big pot of money with everybody paying in. With everybody going to the union, I should say the vast majority of the people going to the union, other than the 3 retirees that we have left on the plan, there's no more inflow, it's all outflow. And that comes out of the town budget. So that's what we're trying to solve for.
So we did come upon another plan that a lot of municipalities have that we were gonna try and move forward, the Tompkins County plan, which is comparable to OSEBA.
Mhm.
But because of the highway contract, we can't move forward with that until the end of 2027.
Right.
So we're still figuring out what to do with our retirees, but we were gonna be upside down by the end of the year. And then that means that we would be paying more money out of the budget to cover the insurance costs, which is what we're trying to.
Right.
Was there any option to have them vote to modify the contract to give us more options for their insurance? I don't know if that's a possibility or not.
I have to ask the lawyers. I don't know today, because we just kind of read through that this month
Okay.
and got to that conclusion. The Tompkins County plan is a nice plan. It covers a lot of municipalities throughout the state. It's beneficial to us, to the people that use the plan. We just have to figure out that legal piece on the contract.
Just wondering if our
Yeah,
folks could just vote on it.
It's a good,
modification.
yeah, no, it's a good point.
Especially if it's a better plan and they favor it.
Right.
We had to figure out the vision and dental piece. So.
Right.
So that's ongoing.
Just to provide an update.
Anything else?
Hmm.
Can you think of anything else?
Just, I mentioned it to Dave last week, and I think I talked to you a few weeks ago about maybe, thinking about doing a moratorium on data centers in the town. Just concerned, I think we'll probably address it in the master plan. But in the time period between now and then, with so many towns in Onondaga County putting moratoriums, that might make us a right target.
Mhm. There are some other towns that have been doing that with data centers, windmills and solar.
Yeah, so this might be a short-term way to protect the town.
But if I remember right, we talked about moratoriums once and they're short-lived, correct? It's not, it's only.
6 months or a
Yeah.
year.
It's usually typical of 6 months. That is your typical. You could go to a year. Subject to being challenged.
Mhm.
What's involved in doing that, Dave?
The issue becomes, when the town, like, if you take solar, the data centers are a relatively new issue. But with solar, what happens is it runs contrary sometimes to what the state mandates are, right? If you get to a certain megawatt, if you get to a certain, then it takes it out of the town's hands and puts it into, I forget what the technical term, if it's a power company, because it reaches such a level. Utility company, and so towns run into this issue when they do moratoriums, and then the state says, or the power company, utility company is saying, well, you can't do that. It's
I think for
contrary.
data centers, the state is moving towards some regulations there. I don't
Well,
think they passed
yeah.
them yet, right?
I think if you there's obviously a huge tension between data centers, which we are ripe in this geographic area, not just town of Pompey.
Yeah.
But that seemingly unlimited supply of water, which is questionable whether we really do have an unlimited supply of water. And we all like playing on our phones and doing all that, so they're necessary evils.
Yeah.
So a lot of it is guided by what the state and federal government do, right? So nobody wants it in their backyard, but we need them. So, I mean, it's certainly something that we could discuss and look into if the board is interested in a moratorium. They are being passed by other towns.
Yeah, and Phil, like you and I had talked briefly, I think it's a great idea. If there's a way for us to do it as a stopgap while we're doing the master plan, and then the master plan can take over as the rules of the road for the town going forward after that, but it's gonna take some time to get that master plan done, so
That's why I'm thinking the moratorium would buy us a little bit of time to get the master.
But again, I completely concur with what Dave says. We've had some pretty significant solar discussions in this town. And once it gets over a certain megawatt, then it's a state issue as opposed to a town issue.
Well, we just went through that and
Yeah,
we challenged it. They took us to court and then they backed out. So we've already,
well, we won the first appeal, if I remember correctly. And then they appealed our appeal. Wasn't that something like that?
no.
They won on appeal. What they should have done is withdrawn their application and could have avoided the whole process, but they won on appeal. But by that time they had run, there were various grants that they were relying on.
Yeah,
That I guess had expired.
the federal government.
Yeah,
Talk about
great
effective
big.
stall tactics.
Yeah.
I can't jump into their minds as to why they did what they did, but at the end of the day, they ended up withdrawing and have no interest in moving forward with it now.
Yeah.
And this is where we need a really good committee on this comprehensive plan, master plan.
Codes.
So we know where we want to go forward as far as solar and stuff like that.
But in the short term, we agreed that it behooves us to look into doing some kind of a moratorium to buy us enough time for the master plans in place, especially if not all communities in Onondaga County do this. They might favor going to Fabius or Tully if they don't do it and we do. It just might
Fabius doesn't
protect
know
us.
how to say no. They have another solar farm going on. right now.
Okay, well, then, yeah.
I know, I think Cincinnati's just passed one. There's probably.
Yeah, I think
others.
it's Cincinnati's did, and
Yeah.
up north, Lysander, Clay, and a couple of towns up north.
For
did.
solar or data center?
Data centers.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Well,
yeah. There's
actually,
been a couple of.
Cincinnati's has done a few things, but.
Yeah, Lysander
Lysander.
Lysander did it, and mainly because there was a data center in front of the planning board, like it was real.
But doesn't it protect us legally if we have something in place before we get to
Yeah,
that point?
yeah.
Don't say jump on it, let's do something.
It's certainly something that if the board is interested in doing that,
What will be the steps to get it started?
it's a basically a public hearing and then vote on it.
Okay, can we put that on the agenda for next month?
I think it's a great idea.
All right, thank you.
Dave, will you guys have time to research it in a month?
I think Manly's just passed one.
They did.
Yeah.
1 year.
Yeah. I think
Yeah,
it's a great idea.
they're popping up on all the local towns, so.
Dave, your early meeting this month, you get a little extra time.
Well, and fortunately, we did the Lysander and the Manlius
Oh,
more.
you did, so you got experience with this. Okay, very good.
Copy.
You
Me too, right?
you get the benefit of copies.
Just make sure you update the name of the town. And move, I state your name.
Exactly.
Okay, great.
Diana, did you want to mention the review of the books that we did, was it 3 or 4 weeks ago?
Yeah, so, we're not complete yet.
Okay.
I have one judge that has not found time to get with us yet, and, we're not all the way through the clerks.
Okay.
Either, so as soon as those are done.
Okay.
Is that like a normal annual review? that
Yeah,
we do?
and they're supposed to be done between January and March, and here we are in July. But the supervisor's report is, their audit is done, and one of the judges is done, so. All right. So anything
No,
else?
that was all I had in my mind, was that, just.
All right, so anything else for counselor's report?
No, not for
Dave, you
me.
got anything?
Yeah, I just wanted to get back to Mr. Gozier. He asked the board a question last month about the codes officer and whether they have an obligation to reply. And I said I would look into it, which I met with Tim, just follow up on my commitment to him and the rest of the town. The way my understanding is if there's a letter written, Tim will reply and will reply in writing. If the person that writes the complaint doesn't agree with it and keeps sending more letters, it doesn't mean he has the time to reply to all those letters. So is there a process in place? Yes. Does Tim reply? Yes. Is he going to reply to every single counter complaint? No. So that's the way it is today.
Okay. Anything else?
No, that's it.
All right, we don't have James here, so, and he has not given me anything in an email that he has anything, so we will move on to public comments. Remember, it's 3 minutes. Stand up in you're talking to the board and state your name and where you live.
Hi, I'm Deborah Grenier, 2010 Cemetery Road.
I do.
Hi. Thank you for bringing up the moratorium on data centers.
Okay.
Very good, and way to harden up our town against solar. That's great too with the lawsuit. Thank you. What I'm talking about tonight is last month you guys passed a new law for code enforcement, and it's a more powerful law. And quote, the town of Pompey board desires to provide the zoning enforcement officer with enhanced authority to promote and ensure code compliance. Unfortunately, we've already had an incident late June. You may be shocked to hear this. I don't know how many people have heard about this or not, if we've talked to Tim, but I'll say a resident called ABC Farm Stand was visited by code enforcement officer Bureau. In late June, he trespassed on his land, walked past a posted sign, took pictures, peered through the windows of the building. The resident came in and questioned Bureau. And Beer admitted that Ann Christmas was behind the visit. So that was pretty shocking. And I don't know if you've talked to Tim or heard about this incident yet, but I think it's completely unacceptable that someone who is not a town official is influencing a town official. Not sure if this is somebody who she doesn't like or whatever. She's been a resident a long time. She used to be a town official. I really am asking the board to look into this, and if there's ever a time for an audit, this might be a good time for an audit of procedures, because now that the law is more powerful, if someone else is influencing who the code enforcement visits and how they, what complaints they make, the complaint was invalid. The resident was within their rights, within the ag laws of New York State ag markets, so there was nothing that they could do, but this resident was harassed, and Pompey should welcome small business and especially new stands, and not weaponize town officials and influence of former town officials with an obvious axe to grind against this person. Personally, I like to shop at many local farm stands, and divisiveness is unacceptable and nasty. And additionally, this poor ABC farm stand was also accosted by Sierra Haynes, a zoning board of appeals member, and not necessarily in her official capacity as such, but she's apparently a relative of both ABC farm stand and XYZ farm stand, a different farm stand. She's a relative of both, and she's not in favor. She's trying to promote XYZ Farm Stand and is against ABC Farm Stand. So she's been making commentaries on Facebook pages, criticizing them for their products not being local, which their products don't have to be local. I mean, they don't have to be grown in Pompey. There's plenty of stands that we buy from every day that have corn or something else from another town or another, whatever. So simply stating, a couple of her quotes are simply stating, so people are aware this produce is not local and this is not an actual farm. And then she said, this is not a farm and not XYZ, her preferred fruit and vegetable stand. So she's using her town influence to weaponize against residents.
Thank you. Dave, I have a question. In Tim's official capacity as the codes enforcement, does he have the right to go on people's property to inspect things?
Yes.
Without the resident permission? So he's in the right of at least doing his job.
Yeah.
Now, what generated that visit may be in question, but yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think I would add that there's a lot of people that have concerns about various other people in the town who bring it to town board members, planning board members, community members, talk about what the issue is, and then raise it, bubble it up through various means. I can't speak to the specific example that you quoted, Deb, but I know for sure that there's many people in this audience that have brought up complaints through word of mouth to the codes people to go look at things. And that's his job. And I believe that's what he did.
Dave, real quick, what was the complaint? I missed it with motorcycles going by. What was the complaint that Tim went to look at?
Tim was investigating a farm stand. Somebody was posting complaints about farm stand that it's not local, it doesn't have local stuff in it. So, that's what,
Well, it does, actually.
but no,
It does
that's
have
what the
some.
complaint was, or the complaint was somebody was posting that it was not local, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so,
Okay,
and it happens to be members that are affiliated with the town that,
made the complaint.
are making comments, okay?
Okay.
All right, anybody else?
Lisa?
I'll just quickly piggyback on what Deb brought up because it's one of my questions. I have two tonight. Oh, I'm Lisa Miles, Pratt's Falls Road. I'm here tonight because I've talked to a few residents in the town and several of us are curious about what to expect during this weekend's music festival, because at this point, there's more questions than answers. Diana, you were at the May Planning Board meeting when the discussion about this Bright Vibes Music Festival began. And the planning board abruptly entered into executive session, citing pending litigation. I subsequently submitted a FOIL request seeking records of whatever that litigation might be and was informed that there is no pending litigation. So it's a whole separate issue with the town board that was. Anyway, then the planning board's meeting in June still left us with more questions because there was no recording. It still has not posted minutes. And it was my understanding that at the end of the planning board meeting, that the decision was to push Dan Palladino's site plan for Bright Vibes back to the code enforcement officer, who has now been given this new sense of authority. However, we've been asking Tim, several residents have been asking Tim what was communicated to Mr. Palladino regarding the music festival and how compliance will be enforced. And the response that we got from Tim was simply that the meeting minutes had not been looked at yet by him. And again, there was no meeting minutes posted in a timely manner. So there's some confusion about the surrounding new local law since, to my knowledge, I checked the website this morning, it has not been filed with the state and therefore may not even be in effect. So I don't know if that changes whatever Deb had in mind. But if that's correct, the residents deserve to know what authority the town will rely upon this weekend with the 2-day music festival and what regulations will actually be enforced now that Tim is on vacation and unavailable to answer any of these questions tonight. He wasn't at last month's planning board meeting either to answer some questions. So there's no clear understanding of what standards will be applied and who'll be responsible for enforcement. So how are concerns being addressed during the event? And this is not about opposing a music festival. It's about transparency, accountability, and ensuring that the organizers of the event and residents understand the expectations. So if you could please explain tonight what conditions or requirements will govern the festival, and if this new local law has not been filed.
All right, Teresa, 3 minutes is
Yep,
up.
yep.
I got the gist. I was told that the code was filed. I don't know why it's not posted yet. Okay, I know Mr. Palladino was sent a notice of expectation. I can't comment on minutes. I have not seen. And I did fail to mention during the supervisor's report, we are still looking for a tech person to help. So we're thinking about making sure somebody on each board is trained to do this. The Zoom is not required.
I totally understand. I know Sarah was taking minutes though.
Yep.
And
I don't know where the breakdown is, why the minutes are not posted. I cannot vouch for that. So,
understood.
okay.
Can you share with the town what the expectation is for the weekend? What is supposed to happen? And if those rules aren't followed, what we're supposed to do since there's no.
My understanding was that there was a document submitted, the planning board reviewed it, and he's gonna follow his typical site plan and what was approved back when, with some clarifications around this specific event. That's my understanding.
Yeah, and if he goes past it, the expectations have been set. If he goes past it, then we'll have to deal with that.
Right.
Or not us, Tim will have to deal with it. And I'm sure a complaint will be filed. And if he goes past, if he goes
If he's
past the
outside of it.
time or whatever, and then yeah, I don't know if Tim has a plan. I don't know if he's away.
I try to touch base with him. He's on vacation. Not avoiding your question. I just don't have any additional information. So.
Okay.
Is there a requirement for calling to attention someone when they suspect something is being violated?
Like, so Tim, but Tim can't be every place.
I understand. I'm just asking what is the thing? Is it a, call to the sheriff's department to to document what the violation was, just so it can be addressed? And Tim has facts instead of just, hey, I saw this or I saw that.
I'm sure that's always an option.
Yeah, but I think if you call the sheriffs, they're just gonna say that this is not a sheriff's.
That's exactly.
In there,
Last time.
Really?
Right, and it goes back to the thing.
So it seems like it would be easier to enforce a code violation if the codes officer or someone in authority actually witnessed it, rather than, by hearsay.
Or if the residents knew what the parameters were. So we know whether there truly is a violation or.
Right.
Because on its face right now, there's separate.
It's the 3 hours.
It's all the stuff that was cited.
Everything that was in the site plan for one day,
Yeah.
because this is a 2-day festival. With 2 nights worth of camping. So on its face, it already violates.
And the stage.
And the stage that wasn't approved.
Okay.
So,
He has a new stage.
oh yeah,
Where's the
They
state?
built it today.
he asked if he could build it. The planning board said no. They wanted a new site plan, but it's built.
Where is it?
Just drive by,
Outside.
You'll see it. And he was gonna have music indoors. Mhm.
And they did sound checks today, and I'll tell you,
Mhm.
if that's indicative of what they're doing, it's not gonna be under 65 decibels. You could feel the bass. You could feel it, and I'm over half mile away.
Would you like to get up and address the?
Sure. Yes, yeah, really well. Really well. So I think this is a great segue into what I was gonna ask tonight. So I've been doing a lot of research based on some discussions we've had over the last couple board meetings about enforcement and you know what the requirements are because I was confused. So I spent some time reading through New York town law, and section 52 states that the role of the supervisor is to handle the administration of the town, the enforcement of the law, and maintaining order. Right? It's outlined there. So now they delegate that out to other officers. In this case, specifically codes enforcement. Tim is not available. So what does a town generally do when codes enforcement goes on vacation? Because you are exactly right. Tim can't be everywhere all the time. Tim's entitled to a vacation. So section 64 of New York town law says when a codes enforcement officer is not available, that the town board can appoint a temporary codes enforcement officer or can request a neighboring town enforcement officer to step in and monitor. Now, I know it sounds like it's really short notice because the festival's happening tomorrow, right? But the timeline here is let's see, what was it? In March, Tim told the applicant that the site plan conditions must remain in effect. Then we were in, let's see, May, there was a planning board discussion and there was discussion about the conditions remaining in effect, and it was not approved. And the request was, well, hey, if we're gonna relax some of these site plan requirements, we have to have a public comment. In June, the applicant said, I don't want to have a public comment. Didn't send out the notice and said, but I'm going to do it anyways. Effectively, not quite in those words, but and the planning board attorney said, special events, the conditions don't go away. This is what he said. Now, as Lisa said, I'm not opposed to this. I don't want to stand in the way of this. You know, because I copied you on the email that I've reached out to Mr. Pappa, and said, let's talk. I don't want to get in the way of your thing, but I want to understand that I want some assurances that we're not going to have problems all summer long like we have in the past, right? That's it. Let's talk. Nothing, crickets. So here we are. We're in a situation where there's been this lead up to this. Tim's not available. He's taken a well-deserved vacation. Great. I hope he's sitting on a beach somewhere drinking Mai Tais and having a great time. But tomorrow, we're probably going to have some violations, and we know it. There's already a stage in violation of the site plan. It's already built. So, is this board going to take any action, or are we going to wait till after the fact when it's too late?
Tomorrow's Friday.
Perfect timing.
Tomorrow's Friday.
That's
right?
when it starts. Yeah.
It's Friday.
Yes.
Friday and
It
Saturday.
starts on Friday.
So thank you. Right on time. I love it. I planned it that way.
All about time.
All right,
I believe that's it.
all right, thank you. I'm gonna ask a question. What time is this thing supposed to start tomorrow?
I don't know.
Noon?
Starting at noon, doors open at noon. The music starts late. With 3 bands tomorrow night. Till 10 o'clock. And then last I saw on 95X, that's where he was selling tickets, 4,000 tickets he was trying to sell.
Okay, thanks.
There was 5 bands for Saturday.
I'm not friends, so I don't get the advertising. I haven't seen them, so thank you.
You don't listen to 95X maybe.
Yeah.
I'm not friends either. This was on 95X and he's advertising.
Not a 95X girl, sorry. But, okay, great.
Is there an option? Have we ever done that? Brought in a code enforcement officer from another town to step in? I know it's short notice. I don't know if it's possible. but
I
have you ever
should
done it?
make note to read the entire manual so that I can learn all the things that.
Oh, it's very boring, but I like reading very boring things. That's what I do for a living, read boring specs. So. Laws different from specs, but not that different.
Or an engineer.
Welcome to my world. All boring.
Yeah, it's a terrible, terrible world, terrible world.
Yeah, but thank you for showing me that. Of course, if I knew it 2 months ago, we could have how to maybe implement some of this stuff, right?
No, we're all learning, right? So,
Yep. So all I can say is if there's problems, don't CC me. I'm sure you'll be, are you gonna be?
I'm right down the road.
There you go. So you'll be able
You're
to
at-
test what's going on
Yeah.
and we'll address it and interesting to know about this stage. So
can I ask a question? I know my 3 minutes are up and I'm gonna ruin my perfect timing on this. What would, and I think Lisa alluded to this too, could we get a copy of what was communicated so that we're all on the same page in terms of what the expectations are?
it's my understanding that it was just a letter that went directly from Tim to Dan. It wasn't, we weren't CC'd on it.
Okay,
So
is that filed?
I only know what,
Yeah, okay,
what
thank you.
happened, but it was told that it was stated
Okay,
he has to follow those parameters.
well,
Okay.
and that's,
So he's been warned.
yeah, and that's very much appreciated, by the way. I do appreciate that the town is trying to do the right thing here, so. And like I said, we don't really wanna cause big problems here. It's about, I'd rather us have an open dialogue about how we can work together to make everything, so we can all coexist. That's the goal here.
And we don't want the festival to end up like it was last.
Dave, the question that we said about the law, is it in effect? Or is there some waiting period before it's actually in effect and can be enforced?
That, I would ask the town clerk that.
Okay.
I
I
just.
think there was an email from Nikki said she filed it, right?
I have to believe it. I mean, I'm assuming it is
Yeah.
in effect, and I am assuming it was properly filed.
So Tim would be able to use his new powers.
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
So, Nikki.
Which was the
Tony,
purpose
she
of
did
creating
that.
that new clarification.
Yeah, okay.
All right, are we good?
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
7:17. Okay, thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.